How come no one mentioned this? Some students are hacking CSEC with this secret website. Meanwhile, a lot of students are losing easy marks on how blood clots, not realizing why.
Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Stop the leak, mastering the blood clotting mechanism. Today, we're going to master one of the absolute most vital defense mechanisms in the human body, blood clotting, or coagulation. But hey, we're not just going to sit here and read textbook facts. No way. Instead, I want to literally shrink you down to the size of a single cell. We're going to experience this whole thing as a high-stakes, microscopic adventure happening right inside your veins.
So what actually happens when your blood vessel breaks? Well, picture this. You're a tiny platelet, just floating peacefully along in the rushing river of the bloodstream. Everything's perfectly calm, right up until the inciting incident. Boom! A sudden dangerous rupture in the vessel wall. Suddenly, your environment is total chaos. Blood is escaping, pathogens might be trying to sneak in. So, what happens next? How on earth does your body stop the leak before it's too late?
To save us from bleeding out, the body has to pull off 4 exact steps. Step 1, vessel damage. Step 2, platelets are activated. 3, fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. And 4, blood cells are trapped. Now here's a massive tip for those of you prepping for your CCX biology exams. This exact sequence is your golden ticket. It perfectly matches what you'll need to memorize to nail those multiple choice questions. It's a very specific chronological cascade, right? So understanding each step of this biological story is just absolutely crucial. Let's break down exactly how it goes down.
Okay, so step 1, physical vessel damage. Actually, scratch that. Let's call it the trigger, because one of the most common mistakes students make is thinking this whole process just randomly starts with some spontaneous chemical change in the blood. But remember, the sequence never starts with chemical changes. The absolute first thing that must happen, the absolute requirement, is physical damage or a cut to the vessel wall. Without this physical breach, the entire system just remains perfectly dormant. The damage is the ultimate trigger.
As soon as that damage happens, our tiny hero, the platelet, arrives at the breach. And to put the scale of this into perspective, a single drop of blood contains tens of thousands of these tiny heroes. Basically, platelets are these small cell fragments, and they act as the primary first responders to a wound. When they hit that damaged area, they undergo this rapid, wild transformation. They become activated and immediately start releasing specific chemicals to trigger a complex, life-saving chain reaction. But our tiny platelet protagonist really can't do it alone. It requires some essential tools or catalysts to keep this chemical cascade moving forward. You can kind of think of these catalysts as the vital keys needed to unlock the next stages of our biological machinery. And the 2 absolute stars of this chemical show, calcium ions and vitamin K. Let's take a look at vitamin K first. This vitamin is absolutely critical for producing the proteins involved in the coagulation process. It's a non-negotiable requirement for the complex series of chemical reactions that transform inactive proteins into active ones. Literally, without vitamin K, the body just cannot manufacture the raw materials needed for the next crucial phase of our story. The whole cascade would just grind to a complete halt. And this brilliantly illustrates how calcium ions come into play. They are a necessary factor that works hand in hand with vitamin K. They're basically the tag team needed to set the stage for the most important structural transformation in your bloodstream. Together, these essential catalysts facilitate the reactions that our activated platelets just kickstarted. So now, the stage is perfectly set for the real heavy lifting to begin.
All right, here is where things get really interesting. The most critical switch in this entire process is the transformation from a dissolved, inactive precursor called fibrinogen to solid, active threads called fibrin. See, fibrinogen is a soluble plasma protein. It just dissolves peacefully in your blood under normal conditions, kind of acting like a hidden chemical reservoir. But when those platelet chemicals and catalysts do their job, it transforms into fibrin, which is this tough, insoluble, thread-like protein.
Now, if you ever find yourself mixing these 2 up on an exam, here is your secret code. In biology, if a word ends in gen, like fibrinogen, it's almost always just the inactive starting material waiting to be deployed. It literally means it generates something else. So fibrinogen generates fibrin. It's a super simple hint, but trust me, it will absolutely save you points on test day.
Once activated, the fibrin acts like a physical safety net being rapidly woven across a gaping canyon. Because it's insoluble, it doesn't dissolve away into the bloodstream. Instead, it creates this robust physical structure right over the breach in the vessel. This mesh blocks pathogens from getting in,
and it perfectly prepares the site for the final critical step of sealing the leak.
Let's move to the climax of our story here, the trap. The fibrin safety net catches falling debris. Now, a lot of people think platelets themselves form the entire clot, but that's actually a huge misconception. Platelets definitely start the process, but the actual bulk of the solid plug, that's made up of other blood cells that literally become physically trapped within that sticky fibrin mesh to finally seal the leak.
So, the crucial point to take away from all this is the exact chronological sequence. It perfectly traces our microscopic hero's journey from a broken wall to a fully sealed wound. First, we have the vessel damage, the trigger. Second, the platelets arrive and activate as first responders. Third, with the help of vitamin K and calcium, fibrin again turns into the fibrin net. And fourth, blood cells get trapped in that net to form the final plug.
And here is a phenomenal strategy for instantly eliminating wrong answers on your multiple choice tests. Always, always look for the option that uses these two perfect bookends. The story always starts with damage, and it always ends with cells being trapped. If a multiple choice option starts with platelets or fibrin, you can instantly cross it out. Just look for the bookends, and you'll find the right answer for sure.
So the next time you get a simple paper cut, will you appreciate the microscopic heroes building a safety net inside you? It's truly incredible to think that this massive, intricate chemical cascade happens in mere moments, just to keep you safe. From the absolute first physical tear to the final trapped blood cell, your body acts with breathtaking efficiency. It really leaves us to wonder, what other epic, microscopic battles are unfolding inside our bodies right this very second? Thanks for joining me on this incredible cellular journey today. Keep studying, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.
Is this legal? Have you tried this? The link is in the description below. Let me know what you think in the comments.